gowns and frilly unmentionables. As a purveyor of vintage clothing, I leapt at the chance. There was only one fly in the supernatural ointment. I didn't know much about ghosts. I'm a witch, not a necromancer. Few outside the world of magic appreciate the difference, but trust me, the two vocations don't necessarily involve the same skill set. My energy attracts spirits like flies to honey, but I can't understand a cotton-picking word they say. Interdimensional frustration is what I call it. One thing I do know is that all of us walk over interred corpses all the time. People are born, they live, they die. It's been the same story throughout the millennia, and the physical remnants of our earthly sojourns, our bodies, have to go somewhere. If simply walking across a grave incurred a curse from beyond, none of us would live long enough to graduate from kindergarten, much less college. We're supposed to meet Dr. Mueller's daughter, Jenny, at the school tonight to take a look around, Maya told Andromeda. You're trying to see ghosts on purpose? Andromeda gaped at both of us for a moment, then shivered as though a goose had just walked over her grave. With Jenny Mueller. Huh. It figures. I hate that. She stopped herself and looked up at me. Never mind. Looking down at the selection of talismans on the counter, she picked up a medallion, weighing the cool wooden disc in her hand. Each full moon, I make the talismans from the branch of a fruit tree, carving ancient symbols of protection and consecrating them in a ceremony of rebirth. However, just as in the natural world, there are few absolutes in the realm of the supernatural. The medallions are powerful sources of spiritual support, but they can't stop a determined force of evil on their own. I liken it to having a big dog at home. It might not chase off every ne'er-do-well, but your average mischief makers go elsewhere. Does it matter which one I get? Andromeda asked. Or are they all the same, protection-wise? There, I began. Andromeda dropped the medallion and screamed, flattening herself against a stand of frothy wedding gowns. The rack teetered under the pressure. What the F is that? Oscar, my miniature pot-bellied pig, and wannabe witch's familiar, snorted at her feet. That's Oscar, the store mascot. Maya smiled. He sort of grows on you. He won't hurt you, Andromeda, I said to the pink-haired young woman, still cowering against the pure white wall of silks and satins. Clearly, she wasn't a pet person, or maybe she just wasn't a pet pig person. Oscar, go on back to your bed. Oscar snorted again, looked up at me, rolled his pink piggy eyes, and finally trotted back to his purple silk pillow. Andromeda wiped a thin hand across her brow. I'm a nervous wreck. Ghosts, now pigs? I just wish everything would get back to normal. This should help, I said, holding up a pendant carved with the ancient symbol of a deer, a powerful sign of support and protection, and an inscription in Aramaic. It hung on a cord made of braided and knotted silk threads in the powerful colors of red, orange, turquoise, magenta, and black. It suited her. When Andromeda bowed her head to allow me to slip the talisman on, my gaze landed on the vulnerable curve of her pale, slender neck. Her vibrations were as clear as a bell, bright and frightened, almost tangible, and though I was only 10 years her senior, I felt a surge of maternal protectiveness. Like her mythical namesake, who had been offered, bound and naked, as a sacrifice to the sea monster, this young Andromeda had a whole lot on her mind. As we used to say back in Texas, she was scareder than a sinner in a cyclone. But not only of a ghost, or even a pig. Andromeda was scared of something altogether human. Don't you need any, ghost hunting stuff? Maya asked me later that night, after I managed to squeeze my vintage Mustang convertible into an impossibly small spot in front of Bimbo's on Columbus Avenue. Proud of my parking prowess, I led the way up Chestnut toward the San Francisco School of Fine Arts. The cool night air was fragrant with a whiff of salt off the bay, the aroma of garlic from nearby North Beach restaurants, and a heady floral perfume. Early flowering brugmansia and jasmine were my guess. San Franciscans did like their flowers. Slung over the shoulder of my vintage dress was my trusty Filipino woven backpack, filled with a few talismans and charms. On the knotted cord at my waist was my powerful medicine bag, and on my feet were easy-to-flee-in keds. But no legitimate ghost-hunting stuff. Oops, I said. Guess I left my catch-a-spirit kit in Hong Kong. Very funny. Seriously, don't you have any special equipment?